Guys, it's good to be talking to you again. What are you going to do? Okay, well, look, this is the third learning cast in a series of 3 about externalities. So what do they say? Catch a person by the toe and don't let them go. All right. So which one of these topics should we choose? Maybe I'll choose this one. Can I get it to expand out? What's it going to be? Well, we want to find out what it's going to be. Oops, no, not expanding. Why are you not expanding? Oh yes, I've got it. It's a curly beast, this one. All right, that's what it is. Oh, how fortunate are we? It's a negative consumption externality that I'm going to model for you. I'm going to show you how to internalise a negative consumption externality. I'm going to show you how to force the free market into taking account of all the costs involved in consumption. All right, so I need to create a bit of room, so I'll just shift that up there. All right, so here we go. Now, what we need to do is we need a start position, so that's going to be supply equals marginal cost equals marginal social cost. Now remember, because we're talking about consumption, I'm going to assume that there are no production externalities. I want this to be an easy exercise, not a difficult one. All right. So what does the free market want to give us? All right. Well, here's where demand equals marginal benefit. And so the free market wants to supply this quantity. Let's call it Q1, and that'll be the market price P1. But look, we know that optimum, that equilibrium point, is too narrow in its perspective, isn't it? Because that's just where marginal private benefit equals marginal private cost. It's not broad enough. So we better get in and do some accounting. So what we've got here is that we've got the marginal benefit minus the third party costs. That's like the environmental damage that's being done, isn't it, on consumption? And that'll equal the marginal social benefit. Well, look, what we can see from here is that the marginal social benefit is less than the marginal benefit. Okay, so it tells me where I have to position my curve. I have to position my curve, if I'm going to fully account for all the costs, below the marginal benefit curve. All right, so what I need to do is I need to get a value on this. I need to find out what this value is. So I need to find the costs, the indirect costs per unit of consumption. All right, well, I'm just going to assume that this vertical distance represents the third-party costs per unit of consumption. Right, so that's going to allow me, if I keep a steady hand, to draw in my marginal social benefit curve. And there it is there. That's marginal social benefit. Not a very good drawing because it's wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. I meant it to be parallel. So this vertical distance represents the third-party costs or the environmental damage being done per consumption unit. All right, so what's the model telling us? Well, if I just change colour so we can keep track, this is the equilibrium that we want to observe. From societal's perspective, not the free market's perspective, society is saying, we want this quantity Q2. At that price P2. Well, the free market is not going to agree to go from P1 to P2, is it? It's going to lose revenue. It doesn't want to move. So just completing the story, just taking a little break. So remember, that's where marginal social cost equals marginal social benefit. This is the optimum that we want. We don't want this one up here. That's too narrow. All right, so the question is, how are we going to move the free market? Okay, well, what we're going to have to do is that we're going to have to pose an indirect tax per consumption unit that's equal to the environmental damage per consumption unit. that's equal to the third-party cost per consumption unit. So have I got a value? Well, yes, I have, haven't I? That value is going to be this distance here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick that distance up if I can. I wonder if I can do it. Is it going to allow me to do it? No, it's not. Okay. So what I'm going to do, here I am, I'm going to pick it up. There it is there. And when I do, what I can do is I can now add in my new supply curve. So this is going to be the marginal social cost curve plus the tax, isn't it? Because this bit here is the indirect tax per unit of consumption. And that indirect tax is equal to the third-party costs that are being incurred as a result of the consumption. All right, now we're smoking, because now we've got this situation here, haven't we? Of this is our new equilibrium. This is the one that we want. So at this price P3, we will end up at the desired output of Q2. That's what we want. So I don't know that there's much else to be said, really. Okay, well, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it there. Catch you later. Actually, hang on a minute, there is more than I can say. I was a little bit quick, all right, so just forgive me for that. It's a Friday afternoon and I want to go home. But look, I'll take this colour, okay. Now look, what I want you to see is that this distance from here to here, that represents the tax, isn't it? So what I can do is I can go P3 minus the tax per unit is going to give me that price P2. Can you see what's happened? Is that the suppliers have effectively been walked down their supply curve, haven't they? They've been walked down from P1 down to P2. And so that's why we get that reduction in quantity from Q1 to Q2. And it's the quantity Q2 that we desire, because that quantity Q2 means that all the costs of consumption, both the direct and indirect, have been taken into account. That is the socially desired output quantity. Okay, well, I think there is now nothing else to say about this. Okay, you should fully understand this model. Okay, catch you later.